A friend is one that knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have become, and still gently allows you to grow. This quote was by William Shakespeare. Folks, I'd like to ask you, who are the top 5 people that you hang around with the most? And are they your friends that nourish you or deplete your energy? Do you find yourself feeling nurtured and positive with each interaction? Or do you feel that your energy is drained? There's another quote I want to share. Friendship consists in forgetting what one gives and remembering what one receives. This quote was by Alexander Dumas. In today's episode, I'm going to share a follow-up to my most downloaded solo episode last year, which was Networking, Secret to Building New and Impactful Relationships. How do you know if the person you're interacting with is supporting or depleting your growth? How do you know when to hold them or when to fold them? This is a poker expression in case you were wondering what that means. Tune in to find out what my simple method is to bring more awareness. Let's cue the intro. Welcome to the Boom Vision Podcast, the show that empowers you to live an enriching life physically, mentally, and spiritually. I am your host, Benjamin Ye, and I created this podcast to give you perspectives on how to strengthen your mindset so that you can build optimal health, create aligned wealth, and connect with your higher self. It's all interconnected. Let's get to work. Hi, folks. Welcome back to episode 39 of the Boom Vision Podcast. When I was reviewing last year's progress, the most downloaded solo episode was number 23, Networking, Secret to Building New and Impactful Relationships. Realizing how much of you are all interested in this topic, I wanted to create a follow-up episode to help you refine how you cultivate your soil, your environment and network that is best aligned with your core being. I highly recommend you to listen to episode 23 if you haven't already done so. So as a quick refresh, the secret framework I shared is what I called the 5WG. The 5W stands for who, what, where, when, and why. Those are questions you should think about when you're meeting someone new. Who are they? What are their names? What do they do? What is their interests and passions? Where are they from? Where did you meet them? When did you meet them? When's their birthdays, their anniversaries? And why? Why do they do what they do? Now the G stands for give. The G stands for give. And the 3 things that I think about in every interactions I have is 1, do I leave this conversation giving the person new knowledge, something new that they didn't know before that can benefit them? Or do I leave this conversation giving this person a better feeling, an emotion that's positive before we even started? And last but not least, did I leave the conversation making the person feel heard? Do I give them the gift of space? And so the easy way to remember this is either IQ, EQ, or SQ. IQ, do I give them the gift of knowledge? EQ, do I give them the gift of emotion or feeling? And SQ stands for square feet or square meter, depending on what part of the world you're in. Do I give them the gift of space? They just needed to be heard. And so with that recap of the 5WG, as you meet new people in your life, how do you know if you're meeting someone that you should hold on to or should you let go? Should you hold them or fold them, right? And so that leads to the main topic. You want to meet people that bring you joy, that nourish your growth. It's like the sun. This is really important. And so if you're like me, I naturally give more than I take. And so I gravitate towards people that are like me. And so for the past few decades, what I've had to learn the hard way is that sometimes people, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously, take more than they give. And so how do you protect yourself? How do you identify and distinguish which ones are either really there to support you or are they there to deplete your energy? And so there's a simple equation that I think about, and that's 1 plus 1. Now, if you're like my kids in school, 1 plus 1 equals 2. And that's one of the answers. When 1 plus 1 equals 2, those are people that I meet where they simply just do what they say. The interaction might be transactional, but you know what? They do what they say. Energetically, it's a net neutral event. It can be transactional, but I know what to expect. They do what they say, and they have no hidden agendas, and the energy exchange is net neutral. Now, what's another answer? 1 plus 1 equals infinity. Now, in my household, I have this infinity sign in my office and throughout the house. And my kids, whenever they see that sign, I always ask them, what does that mean? It means anything is possible. So what does that mean in the context of meeting someone new? Have you ever met someone and then within the first 5 minutes of a conversation, it's almost like you met your soul brother, your soul sister, right? It's almost like you met someone where, oh my God, you're like my lost sister or brother from another mother. You just click. You guys are speaking the same soul language and there's just great energy and vibe. And it just feels like the more you talk with them, the more that the possibilities are endless. Those are the people that I would categorize as infinity. The possibilities are endless. Anything is possible when you're with them. And those are the ones that I really want to nurture. It's not often that you meet someone where you have that feeling. And so that's when 1 plus 1 equals infinity. Now the third answer, 1 plus 1 can equal 0. Now what does that mean? Have you ever met someone where after the interaction, when you leave, you just feel exhausted, you feel very depleted, and sometimes you don't know why? I pay attention to that now when my body is signaling to me, there's something about this energy exchange that isn't flowing in a balanced way. There's something where energetically they might be taking more than they're giving. And when I meet and encounter new people that are like that, I just make a mental note. I make a mental note and I keep an arm's length away because I have to be able to learn how to protect my own energy. If I give more than I take, sometimes you also might attract people that take more than you give. And when you do encounter those people where 1 plus 1 equals 0, just be mindful of that. Be aware of that. And so the main takeaway from today's episode is this. Be mindful and aware of how you feel energetically after each interaction. If you're feeling net neutral or positive, those are both are great, right? 2 are infinity. But if it's net negative, if it's 0, that's something you just want to be aware of, to make a mental note. Those are people you might not want to include in your inner circle. And so with that said, what are this week's action steps? It's 2 things. 1 is the infinities of your world. Who in your network, in your circle, who are the infinities where the possibilities are endless, the energy is flowing, and anything is possible? Whoever those people are, give them a call. Check in on them. Just see how are they doing. Is there something you can do to give them? Is it IQ? Is it EQ? Or is it SQ? Can you help support their growth with either knowledge, with positive emotion, or simply just space? And then the second thing I want you to think about is, are there people in your life, in your network, who are possibly zeros that might tend to deplete your energy? And if you do identify people that might fall in that category, just reassess how much time are you spending with these people. It doesn't mean to immediately cut them out of your life, but just be mindful and to just check in with yourself. See what your intuition is telling you. Are their intentions truly there to support and nourish your growth? Or are they depleting your energy? You've probably heard of that Jim Rohn quote, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So my question for you is, who will you be spending the most time with in 2023? Who are the top 5 people in your inner circle that you want to surround yourself with and grow with? How I made the 5WG work in my life on how I grow and cultivate my soil, my environment, my network, is that I give with the intention of kindness. It doesn't take much effort to be kind. I give without expectation of return. What I've personally experienced is that I receive so much more from life with this intentional giving that I realized that this framework with a positive and kind mindset works in such a beautiful way. You never know if a small act of kindness can have a profound impact in someone else's life. I've received that act of kindness before, and that's why I intentionally give as my way of being. So, final thought for today's episode is a quote I want to share. True friendship comes when the silence between two people is comfortable. This quote was by David Tyson Gentry. As I explained before in the networking episode, I have experienced so many blessings, so many fruits when I implemented my framework, my 5WG. It was a system that I learned from my early mentor, Mr. Steve Sherrill, that I've refined over the years that really resonated with my innate being. The 5WG really helped me cultivate a support system, a support network of people in my life that I'm really grateful for. And over the years, this simple equation of 1 + 1 has really helped me learn how to best cultivate which ones are the ones I consider the close friends, inner circles I want to keep and nurture. Is it 2? Is it infinity? Or is it 0? I hope you can benefit from today's episode when you learn how to assess who in your inner circle that supports your growth versus the ones that might be depleting your energy. You've got this. I love to hear your thoughts. Send me a DM on Instagram at Benjamin Ye. I love to hear if this resonates with you. Hit that subscribe button to this Boom Vision podcast if you're hungry to learn how to thrive together. Until next time, folks, be kind to yourself. Be in delight. Be you. Thank you so much for tuning in to my Boom Vision podcast. If you'd like to find out more about me and this podcast, head over to benjaminye.com. That's spelled BenjaminYeh.com. If you haven't already, click subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.